Hello, my dear brothers and sisters in Christ. I have important information to share with you today. It's hard to believe, but in a few months, it will be 10 years since I received and accepted your call to be the senior pastor here at Trinity. That's right, it was August of 2013 when I accepted the call to be senior pastor. It's hard for me to believe that 10 years have gone by since that time. The last few years have been challenging ones for me health-wise. As many of you know, I was diagnosed with cancer last summer and am now 7 months in remission. Thanks and praise be to God for that. But in addition to that, I've also been struggling with an arthritic hip, and in fact, I'm going to be having hip replacement surgery later this month. These events have prompted a number of conversations between me and my dear wife, Nancy. And as we've had those conversations and also as we've prayed about the future, I have reached the decision that I am going to retire as senior pastor at Trinity in January of 2024, 8 months from now. This is not a decision that I have reached lightly. I love being a pastor, and I love being your pastor. And yet, with the health challenges that I'm facing, it seems to Nancy and to me that this is where God is leading us. After conversation and prayer, we seek to move forward as God's people. Trinity's executive committee has prepared a transition plan that they will share with you shortly. A pre-call meeting has been set and will be held here at the Mission Campus on Wednesday, May 24th. Kansas District President Justin Panzer will be joining us, and he will outline the process for moving forward through this time of transition and ultimately resulting in a new senior pastor being called for Trinity. I strongly encourage all of you to plan to attend this important meeting. I've already begun sharing information about my senior pastor responsibilities with Pastor Phil and Pastor Luke, so that these responsibilities are ably covered during this time of transition. According to our established succession plan, if there is not a new senior pastor in place by the time of my retirement in January of 2024, Pastor Phil will be named the vacancy senior pastor and will assume additional responsibilities until the senior pastor position is permanently filled. I love all of you, and I promise that I will do everything in my power to ensure a smooth transition during the months ahead. I'm not worried about Trinity's future at all during this transitional time. In fact, to the contrary, I am very optimistic about Trinity's future. This is a great congregation, and God has blessed us with an amazing staff. And most of all, God is always faithful. I know that God will bless Trinity in this time of transition, just as he has over the first 83 years of Trinity's history. Oh, in case you're wondering about Minnesota, after retiring, Nancy and I plan to continue to live in our home in Overland Park. Please join me in continuing to pray for good health for me and for God's blessings upon us here at Trinity during this time of transition. As you have heard me say many, many times over these past 10 years, it is a privilege being your pastor. God's blessings. See you in church.